York Yankees.
I just read, Mike, that Bryant to the Giants, Kimbrough to the White Sox, Bias to the Mets.
Is it official now?
I don't know. It's on the internet. Everything on the internet's true, isn't it? I guess I don't know.
Now somebody put on the internet, I'm the best looking guy in the world, and I don't know.
There you go.
I think I put that on there.
Yeah.
But so I don't trust all that. But when the official announcement's made by the teams, then I'll unfortunately have to accept the fact that the Cubs have a deep loser legacy, and the Yankees do not. Randy and I talked about it a little bit in the last half hour. The Yankees are going to keep coming. They're going to be aggressive, even when they're not winning, as they haven't won really this year. But the addition of Anthony Rizzo could be big for them. We'll see how it all plays out. We got a couple of spare parts in return. We got a 19-year-old kid who may or may not be good. He's playing in Arizona AAA right now, and some 24-year-old bullpen pitcher, I guess. Which how many bullpen pitchers have you seen in your life? Because I've seen a lot. Anyway, I'm a sullen Cub fan myself here today. Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about Matt Campbell and the Iowa State program, football program. Some say this is the best team that Campbell's had in a long time. Even others, objective watchers of the football scene, tell us that this could be a really championship caliber team, not just in the Big 12, but beyond that, it could be they could be in the championships of the Power 5 conference.
Well, they're picked to come in second to Oklahoma, and I don't think there's any doubt that going into the season, barring any injuries, this will be the best team Iowa State has ever had. They've got so many players coming back and really high quality players. I mean, they have 9 players picked to be on an all Big 12 team. I mean, that's unheard of these days. So that's amazing. And I think it's legit. When you look at Breece Hall, I think he's definitely one of the best running backs in the country.
Yeah, without
and then
a doubt.
Purdy's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, in my opinion. He's got, an All-American tight end, and Chase Allen, who is another tight end that doesn't. Sometimes he's kind of in the shadows of Kohler, but he's going to be an NFL tight end too. So they've got 2 NFL tight ends, in my opinion. And Chase Allen,
definitely.
And Chase Allen, has got Fort Dodge ties.
He does.
Yeah. His grandparents live here, and
Chase Allen's do.
Gene Black, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Gene Black is a farmer over in the Barnum area.
Oh, yeah,
and his son Terry is Chase's son. So Gene is Chase's grandfather. Yeah, and
why isn't Chase Allen's last name Black? If Gene's son. I know them a little bit, Perry and
yeah. Well, I got to figure that out. You're right. I'm trying to think how that goes, but I think Terry must have married a daughter. That's what it was.
One of the black girls.
Yeah.
I know Perry and Dean.
Right.
I think they're the only 2 boys in that.
Yeah. So it was a daughter. Yeah.
All right.
And Terry Allen, who used to be the head coach at Kansas and very successful coach, at Southwest Missouri State for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was an assistant at Iowa State too. But Chase is, I saw in the paper a couple of weeks ago, he's 6'7", about 265 pounds now.
Well, the Black family's pretty, they're tall.
Yeah, people. They are tall. And he's a big man. And so they've got 2 really high quality tight ends. Their offensive line is picked to be the top offensive line in the Big 12.
Wow.
So, the cards are there for having them a fantastic offense with, and so they'll have a great year. But just like there was an article in the paper today by Randy Peterson talking about there's going to be a cloud over the Big 12.
Sure there is. How could there not be?
Yeah, until this thing all gets shaken out. And that's why I can't see this thing lasting for 4 more years.
No.
Something's going to happen where, um, they're gonna have to get SEC is going to do everything they can to get Texas and Oklahoma in there as fast as they can.
From what I understand, to break that contract in the Big 12 with Texas and Oklahoma, that's a lot of money, like 80 or 90
Yeah.
million, I think I heard.
A piece, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of
I
money.
think you're right. I think you're right.
So
And-
if the SEC wants them sooner, they're going to have to pay up.
Yeah.
Again, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
Lots
money. It is. It is.
Uh,
Just to switch subjects, last night the NFL draft took place, which is kind of interesting because I'm not sure how many people, with the Olympics going on and everything, I'm not sure most people knew that the NFL or the NBA had their draft last night.
yeah,
And-
good point.
And I think part of that is the NBA ratings, even for the season and the playoffs have been record lows. But
Really?
yeah, well, it's all started with all of this stuff that the NBA's been doing, and with all the wokeness and stuff that they've done and over the
God,
last couple of years.
that
And
is so boring.
it's turned off a lot of people, a lot of fans, and and they refuse to say, even though America's bad, China good. America bad, China good.
That is just grotesque.
Yeah, I know it.
I
And
mean, nobody should even go to an NBA game.
I mean, that's part of the problem too. But, from a local standpoint, and here in Iowa, Joe Wieskamp went early in the second round. He was the 41st pick of the draft to the San Antonio Spurs, and Luka Garza was the 52nd pick that went to the Detroit Pistons. And I look at the list of people picked ahead of Luka Garza, and I just shake my head. I mean, there's people on here. I watched them play college ball. They're not half the player that Luka Garza is, but they were drafted ahead of him. So, and I know there's a lot of ways to look at that. Does your game translate to the NBA and all of that? But it just boggles my mind that some of these people were picked ahead of Luka Garza. But again, I just thought it was interesting. And what surprised me is I went through the first round draft picks, and this might surprise a lot of people, Mike, but the SEC conference, the Southeast Conference, the football conference, led all major conferences with the number of players drafted in the first round. They had 7 players drafted in the first round. The Big Ten only had 1 this year. And the Pac-12 had 4, ACC had 4, the Big 12 had 3, and the Big Ten and the Big East had 1 apiece. So that's kind of interesting. And the number 1 draft choice in the end of the draft was Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State, who of course is in the Big 12. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting. But the one from the Big Ten is Franz Wagner, who played for Michigan, and I watched him play several games this year, and I didn't think he was even ready for the NBA, to be honest with you. And he goes number 9 in the draft, and I thought, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Orlando, I think, picked him, so that's why no surprise there. Why Orlando's always kind of at the bottom of the barrel in the NBA, but so yeah, it's but Wieskamp really improved his status and with the NBA Combine, and so he jumped up the list to 42. And there were some that were even thinking he might get in the first round, at the bottom of the first round. He played so well in the Combine, but and then of course in the NBA he had a big trade with what's it? Oh, God, my brain is so fried right now. It's Friday afternoon late, but Westbrook, Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers. The Lakers giving up 3 players and a first round draft choice to get him, which is kind of interesting.
How old is Russell Westbrook?
I'm guessing he's probably 30-ish.
That's what I would think, which is middle age for a professional athlete.
Yeah. But Westbrook is an interesting guy. He's an outstanding talent, but he's more of a one-on-one individual kind of guy, and he just doesn't seem, in my opinion, to be the kind of guy that can take a team to a championship level. Just because, unlike a LeBron James, for example, who's great, but LeBron, distributes the ball and makes other players around him better. And Westbrook's reputation is that he doesn't do that. It's all about him. And, he, and as good as he is, I still don't think that kind of player helps your team win championships. And so there's a lot of mixed opinions about him going to the Lakers.
James Hardy went from Houston to Brooklyn.
Right.
Had the same reputation. And from the looks of things, he earned his reputation. It's all about James. He bombs from all over the floor. It's not that he can't shoot. He can. He's a great basketball player. But I think him and Kevin Durant even had words a couple of times like, come on, man.
Well, Harden missed half the season with injuries.
Did he miss that much?
Oh, yeah. He missed a lot of games.
I wish we could see Brooklyn more. Frankly.
Yeah. But Durant missed a lot of games too. He was hurt. But when he was healthy, and he got healthy for the playoffs, he was outstanding. But Harden didn't even play in the playoffs. He was hurt. But Westbrook to the Lakers is the big news in the NBA on the trades, and that'll be interesting to see because Westbrook likes to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah. And
so does LeBron James. So it'll be interesting to see how that chemistry works out. I root against the Lakers, so I hope it doesn't work out very well.
I was actually in California for a year and a half during the Bill Walton days when he was at UCLA.
Oh, really?
And then we'd flip the channel and watch Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry West, he was a great. Gail Goodrich and Jerry West were the
Elgin Baylor. Yeah.
They were great players, and it was.
I loved the Lakers back then. I was a big Wilt fan in my younger days in college, and a Jerry West fan.
Yeah, Wilt was.
So it was fun.
Wilt was past his time.
Yeah.
He dunked all the time. He'd sit under that basket and pass out to Goodrich and West, who were great shooters.
Oh, yeah.
And, Jerry West, you didn't really appreciate how good he was unless you focused on him during a game. But he really was the playmaker for the team. He was a great player.
He was. He was he's the logo of the NBA,
Yeah. Is that him?
Oh, yeah. That's Jerry West and the logo. Yeah.
All right.
So, that was an outstanding team a few years back.
A long time ago. That's 50-some years ago. Elgin Baylor and the Big O, Oscar Robertson. People today don't remember those people, but they were great basketball players in their time, and they'd be great basketball players today, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Mike. We're winding down. I know you had a few Dodger girls in there earlier.
It was my great pleasure. Yeah.
But kudos again out to that team. No one had more pressure on them than they did. Everybody's, in the whole state was expecting Fort Dodge to win. It was their home field advantage, etc. A lot of pressure on them. I watched all three. I was out there for all three of their games, and they showed tremendous poise, and they didn't show any kind of stress under pressure. They really played extremely well, and just finished off an outstanding year. And what a great thing for them, those girls and the staff, the parents, the Fort Dodge Senior High, and our whole community. And I'll tell you, I was really pleased with how they handle themselves on the field. They play with class, and the girls all support each other. You didn't see any drama at all. It was just really a great team effort, and a great representation of our community.
It really was.
Yeah. So kudos to them.
The three girls I had in here today were, they had such a great year, not only last year, but certainly this year.
Oh, yeah. Just
tremendous. And the pressure they were under are somehow, I don't even realize it in the back of my mind. I think these are extraordinary young girls, They came in here today, they were just girls, and really real nice girls. TJ Doster was here, and the Wirtz and Klinger, Sophia Klinger. They were very nice girls, and
it was. I was out there live, and then I DVR'd the game.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and came back and watched it on the. I thought Iowa public television did an outstanding job of broadcasting the games.
Yeah.
And but they would do close up of the girls' faces. When you're in the crowd, you don't get to see that. But I'll tell you, they were having a lot of fun. They lots of times you see that stress on players' faces, but geez, the Dodger girls just seemed they were laughing, they were having fun, they were relaxed, and they played really, really well and very deserving champions, without a doubt. So
they were very deserving.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
deserving.
and they lose some really key players, but they've got a lot of really good players coming back, and again, they've got the best pitcher in the state coming back in Jalen Adams. So
yeah,
they'll be right up there at the top again next year too. So
3 girls that entered today were all seniors. TJ
yep.
Johnson is going down to the University
going to
of
Iowa. Yeah,
The other 2 are going to Iowa Central, I guess.
Good.
Lawrence and Klinger.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've played a lot of softball. Those are girls that started playing softball probably when they were about 6 years old.
Well, a couple of them started when they were 12, but I think one of them said that she started when she was 8.
That was yeah, I'm sure, because they get them started early these days, and
That's okay. That's okay. They started out to be cheerleaders, or a couple of them said this.
is that right?
Yeah, they were going to go to cheer camp, but then they decided to try to sign up for softball, see how they could do it. I think TJ Joster was the one who talked Chloe into it.
Yeah.
And they got there, and they're going to walk up to the table to sign up, and Chloe lost her nerve, and she was going to turn around and go home. But TJ caught her and said, no, if I'm doing this, you're doing it too. And we were that far from not making it to the state championship team. And they both agreed that they'd try it, and they tried it and did it out, and they turned out to be great athletes.
Absolutely. So that was, and great crowd out there, record crowd on the championship game, and the place was just rocking, and it was a beautiful night. It cooled off, and so it couldn't have been any better. Absolutely a great night for Fort Dodge.
Something, I asked them who the toughest team they played all year, and they all said Muscatine.
Yeah.
And I expected them to say somebody else, because Ankeny Centennial did beat them. But I guess Muscatine had a tremendous pitcher, but they just got beat early in the.
Yeah, they got beat by Bettendorf.
Yeah.
And Bettendorf, I was not impressed with Bettendorf. I don't know how Bettendorf beat Muscatine. They scored 7 runs. Muscatine shut out the Dodgers. The Dodgers got beat 1-0. And they do have a good pitcher, and yet Bettendorf got 7 runs on them, beat them 7-2. And that was really a surprise.
Yeah.
But because Muscatine was ranked number 1 a big part of the season until the end and got beat. But
those girls did, and all the teams, I'll have to give credit to all those state finalists. The heat was intense, and they never slowed down. They persevered. They played hard, and especially the Dodger girls. And I'm so proud of them all. And this is a big feather in our cap here in Fort Dodge.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the people that ran the tournament, all of the staff out just did a fantastic job. The customer service is great. The way they take care of the fields between games is amazing, and even the parking lot attendants they were great, very friendly, and just gives Fort Dodge people that come here, it just gives us a good reputation.
Randy Cohen's been our guest. Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Mike.
It's 5:00. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend.
Straight talk on life and money. This is the Dave Ramsey Show on the Voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400, KVFD, Fort Dodge.
An explanation. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The CDC has